Are you ready, Klim?
I'm ready.
You were born ready, right?
Born ready.
How you doing, everybody, and welcome to the Moffett on the Mic show. We are live on a Tuesday night, courtesy of the A1 Sports Network. I am Craig Moffett, and the show would not be complete without the production stylings. And I see he's got some new money in the budget, as I see a little neon light sign, like we're at like a freaking dive bar and somewhere in Glen Cove.
Look, I will say one of my best friends got me that and this little cool little mic thing. Because we do Secret Santa every year. So she got me that and this. So I was like, okay, that was amazing gifts.
Props to Klim's friend. And, of course, this show cannot be done without the production stylings of the one and only Chris Klim.
Oh, Craig, I'm excited today.
Klim's fired up, and I'm pretty fired up, too, as we dive into we pluck from the Creator Pro Wrestling tree for tonight's show, as we'll be talking to in about 5 minutes or so the current Creator Pro champion, the one-man boy band, the leader of the larger-than-life faction that is running roughshod over Creator Pro as we speak. We are talking about the one and only Eric James is going to be hanging out with us. Klim came prepared with his Eric James t-shirt, and he's fired up and ready to go, and so are we. So he'll be joining us in a few minutes. We'll be talking some wrestling. We'll be talking a few other things as well, so we're pretty excited to have him on. And again, we always look forward to having the Creator Pro guys come on our show to talk wrestling and talk about everything. So we're pretty psyched to have him on. Before we go, Klim, you'll keep me posted on when he's ready to go. I had the unfortunate pleasure of going to the Islanders Montreal game on Sunday.
Oof, how was that?
And I finally figured out how bad this team really is. Because they are just old and slow. That's the best way I can describe it.
It's the only way you can describe this team. And we've only had Andrew Gross on, 2 weeks ago now at this point? Mm-hmm. Or 3 weeks ago, whatever. And he said the same thing. They're old. That's what they are.
Yeah. And the thing is that my thing is that, I was sitting around a bunch of Islander fans, and everybody loves to blame Zdeno Chara for everything, right? Everybody loves to blame Zdeno Chara. The problem is Zdeno Chara is not the reason why Anthony Beauvillier can't score.
Right.
Zdeno Chara is not the reason why Josh Bailey sucks. And he's definitely not the reason why, and I hate to say it, Islander fans, Matt Barzal is terribly overrated. And I am going to say it, and until he proves me otherwise, I don't want to hear any more about how we need to get him more guys. The same crap we always said about Sam Darnold, and we were expecting Sam Darnold to be amazing, and he turned out to be a bum. I watched Matt Barzal hold the puck and do a lap around the ice in the Canadian zone for literally 20 seconds before he finally passed it. Okay? I watched this team on Sunday pass the puck on a power play, I would say, between 8 to 10 times, Klim. Like he was Coach Carter, right? Remember the scene in Coach Carter when he said to him, he's like, I want this many passes before you shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And the Islanders are just such a freaking pass-happy team, man. And it was frustrating. And the thing was, it wasn't really as big of a crowd as I thought there was going to be. Sunday afternoon game, Montreal, the worst team in the NHL, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awful, man. And they just looked like they mailed it in from the minute the puck dropped until the very end.
Like, we have a couple of guys down at the Firehouse who are huge Islanders fans, and they always come to me. They're like, Klim, what's wrong with the Islanders? I was like,
they're old. They suck.
They're old, man. That's exactly what happens. You brought back the same exact team from last year, and you added two old guys in Zdeno Chara and Zach Parise. Cool. They're names. Everyone loved the name Zach Parise 5 years ago. And everyone's loved the name Zdeno Chara over the past 20-plus years.
Mm-hmm.
But now, when you were on the brink of going to the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row, those are the guys that were going to be like, you know what? These are the guys that are going to put us over the edge this year with Anders Lee and Oliver Wahlstrom coming back. No, you needed, and we've said it for the past I feel like since we were at the other network, you need a sharpshooter. You need someone to replace Tavares, and they haven't done that. They still have not done that since that time.
And they should have traded, we always said at the very beginning of last offseason, they should have traded for Tarasenko, and they didn't. They decided to give Kyle Palmieri a 4-year deal. He only has 3 goals on the season. I can't really kill Palmieri too much because he scored in the game on Sunday. But I mean, Beauvillier's been terrible. Bailey's been terrible. I mean, Barzell hasn't been very good. Pajot's been terrible. I mean, we could go on, Clem.
Yeah.
We could go on. And even like, and then Islander fans are like freaking out about Kiefer Bellows. Like, why isn't Kiefer Bellows playing? What has Kiefer Bellows done to warrant playing? I guess is my question.
On that note, we'll have to state because the champ is here. I don't know if that's trademarked or not, but he's here.
What's up, y'all?
All right, joining us right now on the Moffett on the Mic show, he's the current Creative Pro champion, leading the newest faction, running roughshod all over Creative Pro. We're talking about the larger than life faction.
Roughshod.
The one and only Eric James, the one man 90s man boy band. Eric, thanks for coming on our show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate y'all reaching out. Nothing, man. What are you guys discussing before I came on? Let me in.
We talk a little hockey.
Never mind. All right, never mind. Never mind.
We save the boy band, debate with all three of us if you're interested. But
all right, yeah. Let's start with that. Let's start hot.
All right. First of all, thank you for coming on our show. We always look forward to having the Creative Pro guys come on. We love your shows at Limbrook. We always hit them up all the time, and you're a big part of that, of course. And I'm glad to see you're the champ. How does it feel to win the belt? I mean, was it? I know you beat a good friend of yours, VSK, but talk about it. Just let us know what was going through your mind, like right after you won the belt, that you're now the new champion and everybody's begunning for you.
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you guys for coming out to the shows and supporting us, because without fans like you guys, the shows are meaningless anyway. So, but actually, that was I thought a really good match. It was myself, Tony Nese, and VSK, and VSK and I are like always have been connected. You know what I mean? Like it's some way, shape, or form. Someone says VSK's name, it's right away Eric James, and vice versa. And like we know each other like the back of our heads. So to add Tony Nese to that mix, that match was really good, I thought. And it's always fun working VSK, but winning the Creative Pro Championship was like, I mean, when you win a belt anywhere, it's the company's got stock in you, right? Mm-hmm. They put their faith in you, and it's one of the more proud moments actually of my wrestling career. Just because of everyone that's come out of there, right? Like the MJFs and Max Caster and Bear Bronson and Chris Statlander. And so, Mark Sterling, it means a lot, So yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. Thought the match was awesome. And fuck VSK, whatever. Can we curse on this, by the way?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
All right.
Fine, man, by all means.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So going off of what you are the Creative Pro champion, you're also the New York State champion. So are you gonna like the self-proclaimed belt collector right now? You just collecting all the state,
nope.
all the championship belts in the area?
Not at all. That's not my. That's someone else's. That's someone else's gimmick, and that's someone else's deal. And that's that's definitely not me. Again, I'm happy and proud to represent any company that puts a belt on me. And like I said, it's a company or a place putting stock in you and your performance, and so it's always meaningful, But no, I'm not the belt collector. No, that's not me.
Eric, one thing I've noticed between this last show, Intoxication, and the one before that is, Creative Pro in the past was kind of just doing more just wrestling matches each card, but now it looks like you're starting to dive into more storytelling. Between when you formed Larger Than Life with Jack Tomlinson and Drago with VBU, and now you're kind of a running feud with Matt Cardona over the last two shows. So in your opinion, how fun has it been for you as a Cap original to watch Creative Pro evolve into more storytelling in their matches, where you just kind of build on, and it's almost like you can't wait for the next show because you're eager to see what happens in the next chapter?
So a few things there to dissect. I think the rebuilding of stories and everything like that happens from the pandemic, right? It was like, new faces at the school and just fresh storylines and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think doing that kind of stuff is new at Creative Pro. I just think that everybody was, everybody's eyes were open because fresh off the pandemic, and you know, we got rolling that way. I think that's where that stuff kind of came from. But as much as I call Cap my home, and I do call Cap my home, excuse me, I don't think, at least amongst even people in Creative Pro, I'm not necessarily a Creative Pro original, which actually makes me more proud to be the Cap champ now. Right, was that I was kind of a guy who came in from a different place, even though like guys like Brian and all those guys, they kind of took me in, you know, if you will, which was awesome, and I'm grateful for. And Cap is my home. I do call Cap my home, but it's not like I started my career there or trained there originally. So that having the belt now makes me even more proud of that, you know, because I don't know, you know, VSK is not necessarily an original either, but, you know, he went straight from where we were to there and became, you know, a trainer and helped a lot of the people there. So he was a little bit more originally, you know, in depth at Creative Pro, a lot more than I was. So I take pride in being that guy that like came in and became Cap champ.
No, where did you come up with this idea of like being the one man boy band? You know, because you have the Backstreet Boys T-shirt, which I'm rocking right now, love it.
Awesome.
You've done the TLC, the Snoop Dogg, and the Dr. Dre. So where did you come up with that idea? I mean, obviously you're a product of the '90s, correct?
Oh, well,
I grew up in the '90s.
Yeah. I don't want to date myself, but yes, I grew up in the '90s, and I can shoot, sing, right? So, I would just do
electric entrance, by the way.
I would just do thank you. So I would just do that. And actually, when I came back to wrestling in 2000, I guess it was like 2017, I did one of Brian's classes. Actually, I went to one of his classes. It was a promo class. And at the time, I didn't really have anything. I wasn't really anybody anymore since I had gone away. So when I came back, like I said, I sat in that class, and I got paired up with someone to do a promo, and I just happened to sing in the promo. And I had been trying to get on Cap shows at this point. And at the end of the class, Brian asked me if I wanted to do his show as that gimmick. And so I just said, you know, again, I was just trying to get on Cap shows. So I was like, yeah, oh yeah, like absolutely, you know. So it wasn't like something that I had planned. It's not like I was shopping around for gear or designing shirts yet. Like I was like, oh shit, like I've got to turn this into something now. Right. So really, I credit Brian with just like, hey, do you want to be on the show? All right, yeah, I need you to do like, or I want you to do the boy band stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's do it. And then I just, you know, it, like anything else, it evolves, you know, it changes, and it progresses. And now I'm with Jack and Dante and all that kind of stuff. So just making everything work together. It all came together very, very well. And I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. I remember the first Cap show I went to, you came out to Tearing Up My Heart by NSYNC. And then you just kind of evolved into now singing your own entrance when you walked in.
Yeah, I mean, and again, honestly, I would not have done it, because for years before that, guys were telling me, man, like, why don't you incorporate singing into your gimmick? And I was always like, no, I want to keep the two separate. You know, I don't want to, you know what I mean? I didn't want to become like, I don't know, like a weird commodity kind of thing, or like a hokey bullshit gimmick kind of thing. You know what I mean? I was always afraid it would turn into that, but it didn't. It went, you know, kind of went the other way, because when I come out singing the Backstreet Boys song, whether I'm a face or heel, people just sing along.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The song
you can play that to your advantage any way you want, though,
dude. Right? Yeah, that's the thing. The song is infectious, you know?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's easy, but yeah, in a long-winded answer, thank you, Brian Myers, for forcing me to do the boy band gimmick.
No, because it's fantastic. I think I saw it because I only went to my first show in December. That was the first time I went, but I followed the Creative Pro on Instagram and everything like that. and I saw you come out to I Want It That Way, and I was like, hold on, this is electric. I fully support this 100%. And even when I went to the first show, I couldn't help myself but sing along with you while you were doing your entrance.
Oh, that's dope. You're one of the many, because I'm telling you what, man, that song now, even now I hear it on the radio now, and I'm like, I mean, the windows might go up, but so does the volume, So yeah, but like art imitates life, because I love that shit. I love all that 90s stuff, all that boy band stuff. I legitimately like that and listen to that. It's not the only thing I listen to, but I like it,
So I was trying to research like just some stuff to ask you before you were coming on the show, and I came across an Instagram post that you put of yourself on like 3 different album covers.
Yeah.
One was the Fugees, which was my favorite one out of all 3. The Fugees.
I just, by the way, sorry to cut you off. Released those T-shirts. So those are on ProWrestlingTees.com along with all my others.
Like I was a big Fugees fan in the 90s and stuff. So like when I saw the score, but it was you, like I cracked up like right away. And then you had one where the Jay-Z Hard Knocks Life one.
Yeah.
Raised the Chronic.
Yeah. Yep.
So like those just kind of like killed me. So I meant to ask you, like, were those like planned shirts in the past and you just maybe didn't get approval for them right away? You were just kind of holding off, or?
No, not at all, man. I don't take, I mean, not that I don't take professional wrestling seriously. I mean, it's everything for me, but I don't take, especially with my character, right? Like you can't be so serious. Like how can, it's not a gimmick that's like, it's not a tough guy gimmick. It's not you know what I mean? It's not a hardcore, like no one's scared of what Eric James visually is, right? So it's just like, I like to goof around with that stuff. You know what I mean? It was just fun to make. I got a couple buddies together and I was like, hey man, let's take some of these pictures. And that's literally all it was, like a couple guys hanging out. And I was just like, bro, take this picture of me. And I actually went and I threw on that suit to do the Jay-Z album cover. And, those were just ideas that I had to keep the gimmick going, especially when content was few and far between, right? Like we're just coming off the pandemic and shit's really rolling and starting to rock again, and there wasn't a lot of that going on, a year ago. So to come up with anything, I was shooting promo, like I have so much stuff that I never released. You know what I mean? I just shot little vignettes and promos and put together highlight reels and all that kind of stuff. And you just throw shit at the wall, see what sticks.
So what's going to be the next album cover you do for the night? You're going to do like a Vanilla Ice thing, maybe In Sync, or?
I don't know. I try to do the album covers that have groups, because I mean, there's so many good 90s album covers, but it's the one man boy band. So I try to do stuff that's got multiple faces on it. I did one, I took the pictures and like edited the photos and for the Sublime album, where it's just the shirtless dude with the, and instead of Sublime, it just said Eric James. So I've done that. I don't really have any ideas. The newer, the TLC album that came out in '99, I always like mess around with maybe I'll do something with that, where they're like in blue, almost look like robots or whatever.
That's the No Scrubs album, right?
Yes. Yeah. I toy around with that, but I don't know. I just released the Score t-shirt, so I'm going to let that ride for now. And then we'll see what happens.
Eric, you've wrestled on AEW Dark. You've been on Monday Night Raw. Of course, everybody will always remember you as Lana's first husband.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about your experience working on both of those shows, and did you find it maybe a little easier working on AEW because of a lot of the Creative Pro wrestlers that made it to AEW, like Statlander, MJF, and
I mean, I definitely have more friends at AEW.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like the vibe and the environment is just very much more laxed than it is at WWE. So it's like kind of easier to focus, and there's a little bit less pressure. Mm-hmm. And plus just you're having fun being with your friends. So
yeah.
The WWE thing, the Lana stuff, I actually got through Brian. I had the opportunity through Brian. Like 2 weeks before that, he he asked me to send him a picture of myself in a suit. Like he had an idea of what they wanted to do, like it just, but it was very general. It was just, they want to do something with this Lana wedding.
Right.
So I did, and then like they okayed it, I guess, based on the picture, and then I went to Connecticut and I did that, and it was like I had done extra work for WWE before that, and it's a little bit more tense than AEW. You know what I mean? It's you kind of mind your P's and Q's, and you're not as talkative, and you know what I mean? It's AEW is so much more laxed.
Right.
But the Lana stuff was like, you know, it was a spot for me. So
Right.
I was like when I got to the building that night, it was like, you know, I was handed a script and we were like going through the whole thing. And like, it was like to be on Monday Night Raw wasn't just to be a security guard or, you know, a plant in the crowd and stuff like that. So that specific WWE event for me was like something I'm very proud of.
And that closed the show, didn't it? Like that, the Lana segment wasn't
that closed the year, bro.
Oh, okay.
Closed the year. Yeah.
It really went out.
Yeah, closed the decade. You know, so yeah, so I'm proud of that because it got to, you know, and I was like I got the script early in the day and I was like focused all day. Like, I'm not fucking this up. You know what I mean? I'm going to have fun with it. Like, you know what I mean? So that one particular Raw night was like a big deal for me, but every other time it was very like tense and you just, you know, you're kind of quiet all day. You just talk to the other extras that are there.
Right.
Yeah.
Eric, we got our first comment directed for you. Loyal fan of the show, Mike Laws. Let's see.
Who is it?
Mike Laws. How do you sleep at night knowing you screwed Cardona out of the Cap Championship and happy holidays, # Punk?
Well, you could've dodged this one.
I don't sleep at night. I just had a baby a few months ago, so I don't.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't sleep.
Yeah,
so
it gets better. I have 2 kids, so it gets better. I can assure you of that.
That's funny. That like more recently, those matches with Cardona and Brian and Mark and all those guys, like you can't have any more fun than that as a pro wrestler. You know what I mean? Like they're buddies, and you know, it's fun. It's more fun than anything. But trust me, I'm losing sleep regardless, bro.
We are talking to the Creative Pro champion, the one-man boy band, Eric James. Eric, the music video you guys did for the Larger Than Life right before Intoxication, just Myers and Cardona. Who wrote the lyrics for that?
Me. The whole thing was me. I made the music. I did the song. I wrote the lyrics. I did everything. Actually, to toot my own horn, I didn't. I did all that stuff. Yeah.
You know, going off of, you know, Larger Than Life, who came up with the idea that, you know, VBU is going to turn heel essentially and come with you? Was it your idea? Was it Brian's idea? Did Jack and Drago come up to you and be like, "Hey, we have an idea for this"? Like, who
it's actually something we wanted to do a long time ago. Like when, like before we came back from the pandemic and we were just doing Cat TV and all that kind of stuff. Like I was just kind of like, you know, just in the middle of the pack and just kind of having matches and stuff like that. And it was Max Caster's idea originally, because before AEW took off for him, he was writing the Cat TV stuff. And then it just kind of fizzled out because, like, you know, we were in the middle of the pandemic, so nothing really truly mattered at that point. And then yeah, I forget who really took the reins on that. It was probably, you know, Bryce Donovan, I know, has a big hand in writing a lot of the stuff. But yeah, I think it was just like a continuation. It was an idea that was kind of on hold, and just right time, you know, right spot, right time, right now.
No,
you know,
I was gonna say when it happened, because like I mentioned to you when I was talking to you, we've had Jack on the show. We love Jack, and then when I saw him come out to help you in the championship match, I was like, "Oh shit, let's fucking go!" I was screaming. I was so happy.
Were you guys able to tell that was me in the Dorian Graves mask earlier
You know
in the
what?
night?
After the fact, not originally.
Okay.
Not originally when you first came out. I was like, oh, it's Dorian. I think that looks like Dorian Graves. But you had put up, and I was like, yeah, and I just didn't think anything of it.
It was the worst disguise ever. But it was like it was so bad that it was so good.
Right.
That was just like my regular street clothes that I came to the building in that day. And me and the boys, a couple of us, we carry around our Dorian Graves masks.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask why. We just do it. And we think it's funny to always have one on hand. So Brian was like, "Do you have a disguise?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." And I just pulled out the mask and was like, "Here, it's the fuck." It's like, all right.
No, it's funny you mentioned that because like they were like my buddy who I go with all the time, Mike Laws, who commented. He was like, "Oh, who's that?" I was like, "Oh, that's Eric James." He was like, "How do you know that's Eric James?" I was like, "That's literally," because I saw you like walking around prior to the show. I'm like, "That's literally what he was wearing prior to the show." Like,
oh, really?
I know because you had the bright red sneakers on. And I was like, "That's Eric James." I was like, so when Jack and Drago came out, I was like, "Let's go, heel turn, awesome, love it."
Yeah, those guys are good. They're fun. They're like super young and like excited about everything. You know what I mean? So they're easy to work with.
Oh, we have another comment.
Uh-oh.
Keith said, "Can we talk about how you giving Craig the finger right in his face? Best cat moment of all time."
Who's Craig?
Me.
Which one of y'all's is Craig? I'm sorry.
That'll be me.
All right, I gave you the finger.
It was during the match it was the one-on-one match against Cardona. I think it was in December. I think was that the event where VBU turned heel? Was that?
Yeah, Happy Holidays.
Yeah. Did you deserve it at the time?
I don't think so, but I mean, you like asked everybody to get out of the way, and just as you were about to pull the swerve, you literally looked me in the face and just gave me the finger.
It sounds like you had it coming, bro. If you ask me,
I probably did.
Yeah.
I did so. So, and my daughter looked at me. She's like, "Why is he so mad at you?"
There was actually I watched it when I watched that match back. I healed out some little kid that was like also in the front row, and I'm like, geez, I don't even remember doing that. So this is it's something I do often. Apparently, I'll just pick someone in the front row and just try to bury them. So, but it did sound like you had it coming.
I probably did. I mean, I didn't get out of the way fast enough, so that was it. Eric, one of the things I also found out about you is you're a big New Orleans Saints fan.
Yes, huge. We're not in the room right now. I'm in one of my rooms upstairs, but in my basement, it's New Orleans Saints. It's professional wrestling, and it's all NASCAR. It's just a man cave.
So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts about the Saints moving forward now that Peyton's no longer is stepping down. You think it's just more like a 1 year type of thing, and he's going to?
No, I don't know. If he comes back, it probably won't be to the Saints, but I do like that Dennis Allen took over. You know what I mean? Those players play hard for him. I don't know how closely you guys pay attention to the New Orleans Saints, but that defense plays hard for him. They hit hard. They play fast. So I'm glad that he took over. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a huge change in the playbooks and all that kind of stuff. So I'm okay with the change, even though losing Peyton, who I named my daughter after.
No.
Yeah. So her name is Peyton Harper Gonzalez. And so I was bummed that he's leaving, but I'm okay with Dennis Allen taking over.
Good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm all for it. I don't hate the same. I mean, me and Craig, we're both Jets fans, so I mean, we suffer enough. So we
sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with the territory, so it's whatever. But I mean, look, I'm all for this. I want the Saints to do good. I'd like Taysom Hill. Michael Thomas is fantastic. I think you guys have a team that you guys can add. You add a couple pieces, you could definitely contend for the.
Yeah, we got to do something. We got to do something at quarterback for sure. But time will tell. I don't know. There's a lot of free agents on the market. It doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers is going back to the Packers, so maybe there's something there.
Wouldn't be bad.
Definitely. That would be. I would love that. That'd be pretty damn good.
Eric, we asked this question to Jack. We've asked this question to VSK when they've been on our show, and it was just if you have an opportunity for like a wrestling match with a dream opponent, past or present, who is your dream match opponent?
I just had this conversation. Early on, when I started wrestling, I mirrored a lot of my stuff around John Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just always thought that I could do what he could do, or at least I tried it, and it turns out I can't. Not a lot of people, not a lot of people can, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. Dream match. I think that would be like really big and really fun for me. I mean, you guys like Rich Swann and all those guys that you can have like unreal bangers with, Will Ospreay, like those, like that kind of stuff would be unreal. I still also haven't had a singles with Brian Myers.
Really?
Or Max Caster. Yeah. So, there's a few out there. There's a bunch out there. But yeah, like if you're asking me what would be like a holy shit moment for me, would be to work John Morrison.
Wow. I mean, I have to admit that was not the answer I was expecting, but it's still pretty cool either way. I mean, that's kind of fun about that question. You just get a lot of different answers that are pretty interesting, and you kind of envision the match. It would probably be a pretty sick match between you and Morrison.
It would.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
Would you try the parkour stuff at all, or no?
I don't want to hurt myself. That's exactly what would happen. So no.
Now, this is my last question. We've also asked this to Jack and VSK when we've had them on. MJF, is he a dick in real life as we see him on TV?
What did they say?
They said yes. He's a dick in real life as opposed to being on AEW.
You so want to say yes. We could just see it.
Yeah. Then he's a dick in real life. Yes.
All right, Eric, here's my last question. At the last two Cap shows, every time Max Caster's come out, he's taken donations from the crowd and to rap. And people have put money in the hat, and Klim put a 20 in the hat the last time. And
no way.
Where that money went?
No way. Is that real?
Yeah, he goes around because he's like, I need 11 grand to rap when I come out here. So everyone will throw in like a couple bucks, like ones or fives or whatever.
My
dumbass put in a 20 thinking, oh, this would get a good reaction out of him. He'll probably mention me or something like that. Nope. Walked away with the 20, and I was like, whoop, there goes the $20 bill.
Dude, don't ever hand a professional wrestler $20 and expect something out of it. What are you, insane?
Well, the funny thing is too, my friend who I go with all the time, he was riding me the whole time. He's like, yo, don't give him any fucking money. Don't give Max any money. So what I did this time was I didn't give him any money, but I threw my credit card in there. I was like, I'll have to get it back this time. And he was like, who the fuck threw their credit card in here?
No way.
Eric, can you please rip him like you would if you were the heel right now?
Rip who?
Klim putting a credit card into a hat for Max Caster.
Yeah, that speaks for itself. I mean, that speaks for itself. But you're wearing my shirt, so I'm not going to go too crazy. But it's just chalk it up to a lesson learned, man.
Oh, yeah, big lesson learned.
But I love
me ever again.
Dude, I fucking love that he does that. He goes out there with a hat.
Yeah.
He'll take his hat off and he'll be like, Brian's not paying me enough to rap here, so if you want me to rap, I need $11,000. And people will legitimately throw in like a couple singles here and there. I think when he went at Happy Holidays, he got like $60 thanks to my fucking 20. And I think at the last show, he got like $25. Like,
that's excellent.
I mean,
that is excellent. Good for him. He obviously should never stop.
Do you have any updates on the next Creative Pro show, like that you want to maybe disclose, or like maybe a date or anything like that? Or
I know that there's a free show. I think Thursday, March 3rd, there's a free show, I think, at the school, at the Creative Pro Academy. Okay. You get to see a lot of the younger guys, a lot of the guys that are like, kind of next up. And I mean, you see what Creative Pro produces. So, I mean, it's all good shit. It's not like you're going to go there and see shit matches or shit wrestling or anything like that. It's all solid stuff. It's just probably, it's just some of the lesser known guys, but But they're good, man. They're good. So if you can get down there, and then I think there's going to be something else later in March, also at the academy, but that's not solidified.
Right.
April's back in Limbrook.
Okay.
And then May is somewhere else. I don't think May is going to be in Limbrook or maybe. But the one that's solidified is March 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a free show at the academy, and then again later in March. So those are like the real deals. Everything else is just kind of still up in the air.
All right.
Just try not to give me the finger this time when I'm sitting in the front row, if that's okay.
No, I'm doing double next time.
Eric, man, this was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on our show. Congratulations on the birth of your daughter.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Hope everything goes well. We're looking forward to seeing you at the next show. And we're just big Creator Pro fans, and the shows have been amazing each time you come to Limbrook. And we look forward to the next time you guys come around and put on another kick-ass show.
Thanks, guys. Will do. Don't forget to check out those score shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/Eric James.
All right, man. Definitely. Eric James, we really appreciate you coming on the show
guys.
again. Look forward to having you on again in the future. All right?
Appreciate it.
All right. Take care of yourself, man.
Take care, guys.
All right. That is the current Creator Pro champion, the one-man boy band, leader of the Larger Than Life faction, Eric James, and he was the man. That's all I can really.
That was good. Like,
man.
Like, I feel like that was a really good interview we did. Like, we've done good interviews, but I feel like, with someone like new like that, like we've never had him on before. Like, we've had good interviews before, like Jake, Ike, Jamie, etc., etc., etc. But like this was like, I feel like really good. Like, it was like we didn't know what we were gonna get into out of him. We didn't know if he was gonna be a heel on us. We didn't know if he was gonna be a face, but he was just a generally awesome guy to talk to.
It's cool. But one thing I love about having like guys on like Jack, and we have VSK on, and we had Eric, is they give you some cool insight into what goes on with like Creator Pro.
Right.
Stuff that we don't see at the shows, but they see, or he'll give us some insight into his time in AEW and, wrestling at AEW Dark and being on Raw and stuff like that. And, so that's always a lot of fun. And, I forgive him for giving me the finger. So, and now that he knows who I am, like I said, I wouldn't doubt it to give it to me double time. So, but we really appreciate him coming on. Check Creator Pro's website. I think the next show, as he said, is in April at Limbrook at the Knights of Columbus. If you are in the Long Island area and you are within driving distance, you need to go check out the Creator Pro shows because they are a lot of fun. They are so much fun and you never know who's going to appear, right, Klim?
Oh, you never know. Like, especially even last show, like Maven showed up. We were like, what? Like, I can't believe Maven of all people showed up to the Creator Pro show.
Yeah, so he is a lot of, it's a lot of fun. And, Cardona was there at the last show. They haven't really announced who's going to be there at this show. But, I mean, we've seen Sean Spears at past events. Tony Nese has been at past events. I'll never forget when MJF stepped on my foot at the merch stand. So, they always seem to get some great appearances from, either former AEW, former Impact. At the last show, Doc Gallows was there from the Good Brothers, so that was definitely a lot of fun. So if you're in that area and you're in the trust me, you will not be disappointed going to see Creator Pro at Limbrook. And you should definitely check out the Academy too. The free shows are a lot of fun and everything, and you get to see the up and coming wrestling, hopefully potential superstars of the future. So
make sure you go buy t-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/Eric James.
Dude, go to his Instagram page and look at the freaking picture of the score, the Fuji's album. It's freaking hilarious.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's so good. Like, it has like the Fuji's like lettering from the album. It's so awesome.
I just really can't wait for the next Cap show. Like, I really can't wait for it.
And this time, keep your wallet in your freaking pants and don't get.
Oh, I'm not. There's Max Caster. Max, I know you're listening to me right now. You're not getting another cent out of me.
Tell him he owes you $20.
He does owe me $20.
Tell him he owes you $20 at the next event.
You know what? I think that's gonna be the next guy I try to get on. I'll try to get on Max Caster to demand my $20 back.
Yeah. But again, check out Eric James on Instagram. He's part of VPW. He's Creative Pro champion. He's VPW New York champion. And you never know, because you might just see him on an episode of AEW Dark somewhere in the near future. He was on, I think, about a few weeks ago with actually some of the other guys in Creative Pro with Kevin Tibbs and I think TJ Anderson's not there anymore, but he was also one of the other guys too. So definitely check it out. And we're so awesome having him on. And again, thank you to Eric James for coming on our show. Klim, another hit for Klim, man, with the guests. So
thank you.
We'll get into the Elimination Chamber stuff a little bit later. We're going to just do a few quick things real quick just to kind of go through. There's not really a lot going on now. The Super Bowl's over. NBA just went into the All-Star break. They're just coming out of it. I think tomorrow's or Wednesday or Thursday are the first games back. So not really a lot going on. Baseball's still on strike or baseball's still in a lockout, so we don't really know when they're coming back. Spring training has already been postponed. Now there's talk that the opening day will be missed this year due to everything going on. And, it's a lot of finger pointing. I'm not going to really get into a lot of the bullshit of it. So we'll talk about it on another time. But I have to say this, man, and you have it on the bottom line thing at the bottom of the screen. And I didn't see it. I watched highlights of it, but man, the NBA slam dunk contest was fucking awful. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, this has always been my knock on all-star games and all-star weekends and all that stuff. I just think they're boring. They're just boring. And I understand it's an honor and a privilege and all that bullshit and all that stuff. I get it. Okay. But with all due respect, man, it is boring. And all you need to do is watch the dunk contest. Don't even watch the dunk contest in full. Just watch the YouTube clips of the dunk contest. Yep. And you can hear a pin drop in that stadium, in that arena. Because nobody cares about these guys. It's not that I don't think that Cole Anthony's a good player, Jalen Green's a good player, Obi Toppin's a good player, and Juan Toscano, I forgot the last part of his name, are good players. It's just that they're not interesting. Okay? You want to go watch dunk contests back in the day when it was Jordan, when it was Dominique Wilkins and Spud Webb and those guys, and
it was the legitimate all-stars.
Those guys put their blood, sweat, and tears into those dunks. It was like when you see that guy, find out the guy's name from Golden State that was in the dunk contest. It was like Juan Toscano. I think it's Anderson was the last name, but I don't really remember. When you see that guy try to do the same dunk 8 times and he's not even close to hitting it, that's a huge issue. Okay, with the contest.
That's what my friend told me, because I didn't watch it. I had no interest in the dunk contest this year because I'm like, it's whatever. And if I miss something, I'll catch it on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. And he was telling me, he's like, bro, did you watch the dunk contest? And I was like, no, why? And he was like, bro, it was one of the worst ones of all time. Yeah, Juan Toscano Anderson from the
Toscano Anderson. Okay, apologies I just couldn't remember the name off the top of my head. But he watch it. I don't know if you've seen it. Just watch it. He tries literally 10 times to do this dunk. And he can't do it. Mm-hmm. So by the 5th time when you can't do it, just do something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know what goes into prepping for a dunk contest, how often. I mean, these guys are playing all season. I mean, I don't think they get a lot of time to prep for this thing. But it's almost like I was at an event one time. I used to work at the Hammerstein Ballroom in the city, right? Mm-hmm. And one night we had an event that wasn't a concert or anything. It was more of it was like a dance event, but it had a breakdancing competition. Okay? Swear to God, breakdancing competition. Okay? And these guys were trying to do moves that they couldn't do. So when they tried to do them, they looked like shit. And it got to the point where one of the judges was almost not yelling at the guys, but it was like, guys, don't do moves you don't know how to do, because you're going to get penalized heavily when you don't hit on.
Right.
So he, And I kind of related it to that. It was like, if you can't do the dunk by the 5th time, then don't do the fucking dunk anymore because you're just embarrassing yourself if you keep doing it. Like first it was like he couldn't catch the ball and dunk at the same time. Then when he bounced it to himself, it was too far away. It was always something that was screwing up the dunk. And then the worst part about the dunk contest was Obi Toppin could have just did like a 2-handed slam with like power and he would have won. He does a dunk, but when you watch the videotape of it, Klim, it banks off the backboard. It's not even really, technically it's not a dunk. Okay. And I think like Dominique Wilkins, who was giving Obi Toppin's 10s for like every shit thing he did, they were just like, we just want to get the fuck out of here. So 10, and then you won. Congratulations. It was honestly, it was the most embarrassing dunk contest I think I've ever seen. But that's the NBA's problem. You see, the dunk contest would be more exciting if LeBron James was in it.
Yep.
If Ja Morant was in it. If Giannis was in it. The 3-point contest would be more exciting if Steph was in it. Kevin Durant's hurt, of course. But, I mean, whoever else is on the roster, on the All-Star roster. It should be kind of like when the NHL does their All-Star game, they don't pluck non-All-Stars to participate in these contests.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that are participating in the contests are guys that made the All-Star team.
Right.
The NBA does it totally different. But the sad part about it is that these guys don't want to do it. They're not interested in being in the dunk contest. That just goes to show you how bad the dunk contest really is when your superstars want nothing to do with it.
It's been like that for a while because LeBron's been in the league since 2003, never been in a dunk contest. Like it's like I just don't know, man, anymore. Like why not LeBron do it? What's it to you if you don't do it? John Morant, same thing. Draymond Green. Like it's
like, can you imagine having a dunk contest with LeBron, Giannis, Ja Morant? Who else? Give me another guy. I mean,
Zach LaVine again.
Yeah, Jared Allen. I mean, like now you got something. But after the All-Star game, they interviewed Ja Morant, and a reporter asked him, you probably had the best dunk of the weekend, including the dunk contest. Would you ever consider like being a contestant in a dunk contest? He flat out said no. Like he didn't say like, I'll think about it. It's possible, but he flat out said no.
Like, it's not like you're going to be doing anything where it's like, oh, you know what? We're going to get hurt. I'm not going to do it. This is for fun. Like, this is literally fun you're going to have. You do all these crazy dunks as it is probably during practice. What the hell's the difference if you do it during the game? There's no difference. So,
I mean, and then like the 3-point contest is not bad. I prefer it more than the dunk contest. But it's just like, it's so boring. It's so boring. No matter how many times you try to watch it, there's nothing interesting about it.
Yeah.
And it says a mouthful when Karl Anthony Towns wins the 3-point contest.
I was so mad. I put money on Trae Young to win it. I was so mad that piece of shit lost.
Right? I don't know, man. Like, it's a sad state of affairs in the NBA. I mean, it's funny because like I was listening to like WFAN clips this week, and they're saying now what you and I have been saying for over a year. And that is that the NBA is just a player-run league.
Yep.
Nobody really cares about making it better. Nobody cares about anything. It's just bad. Like, it's just really bad.
Because it's not like, usually MLB, like they say if you do the home run derby, it messes up your swing a little bit. And it does in some sort of way, it may hurt your swing. Fine. Okay. If that's why you want to do the home run derby, fine. I get that. But there's literally legitimately no excuse as to why LeBron James, Ja Morant, Devin Booker can't be doing all these contests. Like, there's no excuse for them because it's not like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do the 3 contests. It's going to mess up my form. No, it's not going to do that.
But you know what, though, Klim? The sad part is it's just to be for fun. Like that's what All-Star Weekend is, right? Just like with MLB All-Star Weekend, we don't love the fact our players go in the home run derby, but they want to do it because it's fun for them. You
Exactly.
know? Like that's why I give credit to guys like Alonso, but you don't see outside players in the home run derby. You just see the All-Stars.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, and you know what it is too. You see the home run hitters of the All Star, except for that one year
Yeah.
Brandon Inge was in it for some reason. But like, you see the Pete Alonsos, the Joey Gallos, the Judges. You know, all the Giancarlo Stantons of the world. You see those kind of guys in the home run derby. You're not seeing like,
Like,
oh, you know, let's
like
get
a fun
Ichiro
you're
in
in a
here.
fun competition if like Zach Levine, Steph Curry, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell wouldn't have been in the 3-point contest. I mean, it's just about having fun with it. It was just like it was so frustrating to see because again, it was like these guys have no interest in giving the fans what they want. They have no interest whatsoever. Like you can make All-Star Weekend so much fun if
Yeah.
you guys just swallowed your fucking pride and just participated in the dunk contest, or play a game of horse or something like that. I don't know.
Knockout, whatever it is. Like, these things could be so much better than what it is. And even I saw a tweet from Josh Donaldson today on Facebook, and he was just going off on how baseball is legitimately the only fun All-Star weekend.
Yeah, like I mean, listen, we've already ripped the NFL for the Pro Bowl, which is just nothing but a glorified trip to wherever it is. I think now it's in Los Angeles, not even in Hawaii anymore. The NHL, no, I mean, unfortunately, nobody follows hockey. Not enough people follow hockey enough where you're all in on the NHL, I mean, and then, again, MLB is like the only fun one because again, it's just the home run derby and like all the mashers are in it. But it's like these guys, the NBA players will never swallow their goddamn pride just to suck it up for one day and just take part in a dunk contest and get people excited. No one cares about, no disrespect to Cole Anthony and Obi Toppin. Nobody cares about these guys. That's why are you not surprised by the reaction? Like, why are you not surprised? With the,
It's just not fun. It's just really not fun again.
Like, I mean, unfortunately, there's not really much Adam Silver can do. He can't force the guys to do it, but it's like.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago.
So you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place on this one.
I was gonna say, remember a couple of years ago, they had to bring up someone from the G League to fucking be in the dunk contest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot who that was actually. I totally forgot who that was, but yeah, you're right.
But no one cares about it. You're not like you mentioned back in the day. You saw Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan, probably Magic Johnson. I don't know. I didn't watch the NBA dunk contest back in the day. Spud Webb, all the big guys like who were going. They didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like LeBron James sitting it out like you know what, I'm gonna rest. Or you're not like Karl Anthony Towns, I'm gonna rest. Fuck it. Or if Zion was healthy, I bet you he wouldn't even do it.
So the NBA All-Star Weekend is just going to continue to suck no matter how much. There's nothing you can do about it at this stage of the game because you can't force the guys to do it, but you have to have it as well. So it's just like, but again, it's just become such a boring like weekend. There's just nothing fun about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like over 3 days. I mean, do you really need to have this for 3 days?
No.
Between, you have a celebrity game on Friday that nobody cares about. You have, I mean, even something as simple as, hey, let's do half-court shots until, whoever wins. But that would be something fun, and these guys just have no desire to do it because they're so fucking egotistical, man. NBA athletes are the worst.
They literally are the absolute worst.
Now, on another note, while, of course, we talked about last week the Nets making the trade for Ben Simmons, and yesterday, they just added Goran Dragic to the roster after he was bought out by the San Antonio Spurs. The question on the table is, because all I keep reading about is, when is Ben Simmons going to make his debut for the Nets? When is he going to make his debut for the Nets? Sean Marks is being very vague about it. He doesn't really want to talk about it too much. There was a lot of, they were trying to see if he would maybe make his debut against the 76ers. I think not next week, but the week after, when I think they play him in Philadelphia. That was a possibility. But here's my thing. Ben Simmons needs to debut as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The reason why is because the Nets need him now more than ever. You traded away James Harden to get Ben Simmons. And Andre Drummond has been very good since he got here, and so is Seth Curry. Seth Curry is probably my favorite player in that trade.
Mhm.
So, but Ben Simmons is the focal point of this team right now because Durant is still hurt. We don't know when he's going to be back. He's not going to be back this week, maybe back next week, but who knows? But right now, you need Ben Simmons on the court, even if it means he's only playing like to start like 15 minutes a game. You got to get him back on the court. He's got to get in game shape. The only way he's going to get in game shape is if he goes out there and plays every night. But the Nets they're in a playoff chase. They're in the 8th seed right now. They need to move up. They have to start making a run. The only way that's going to happen is all hands have to be on deck.
Mhm.
We can't coddle Ben Simmons right now. Ben Simmons should not want to be coddled. He should want to go out there and stick it to everybody and say, you know what, I'm going to prove to these people that they were wrong about me, and I'm going to go out there and help the Nets win games, even if it means I only play 15 to 20 a night. But until I get my conditioning up. But at least I'm going out there and giving it, putting in my effort. You can't afford to not have him sit for too long. I understand that this is kind of it's a balancing act because you have to be concerned about his mental fitness to play basketball right now. And you have to take into account that he hasn't played in a year.
Right.
So it becomes a situation where you are walking a fine line because you don't want to get the guy hurt either. That's the other part of it. That being said, though, he is too valuable of a piece right now in your roster, especially with Kyrie Irving still being a part-time player. You have to get him on the court as soon as possible.
Mhm.
You need to start getting a return on that investment because that's the only way the Nets are going to make a run. All hands on deck. I love the addition of Dragic because it softens the blow for Kyrie. So when Kyrie can't play a home game right now, Dragic will play. Dragic will start. Dragic is a good point guard. I know he's old. I think he's like 36 or something like that.
Mhm.
He's a good point guard. He's a good playmaker. He'll put up his points and everything, but he's that security blanket for until this Kyrie vaccine shit gets cleared up once and for all. But Ben Simmons has to debut immediately. We can't wait 2-3 weeks for him to start playing. He's got to play now because the Nets have to make a run. Because even if the Nets wind up in the 8th seed, they're going to get their asses handed to them by whoever, whether it's Miami, Milwaukee, whoever it is. But I think the quicker you get Ben Simmons on the court, like I said, 10, 15 minutes, to start, see how he does, have him come off the bench, and then when he's ready, put him in to start.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Because, like you mentioned, like you just traded away James Harden, who was playing every night for you. Now you traded him away. And granted, yes, Seth Curry and Andre Drummond have been playing both well, but they're not playing up to what James Harden could be doing, let alone what Ben Simmons could be doing. So he has to get on the court ASAP. Like he has to. There's no choice now at this point. Whether it's a week or whatever, he needs to get on now. Whatever it is now, it has to happen.
So that's it with that. The Nets, they finished the All-Star break right before the All-Star break on a high note. They came back from 28 points down and beat the Knicks. And, they lost to the Wizards, which is fine. But they go into the All-Star break winning two out of their last 3, which is what they needed. As for the Knicks, well, Klim, it's official. The finger pointing has begun. Now we got Worldwide West blaming Thibodeau. It's officially a mess again in New York. Congratulations, Knicks fans. You are back to being the messes that Klim and I always thought you would be. Never let us down. They never let us down. And who even knows at this point? I don't think Thibodeau makes it to next year. But the question is, who's going to coach the team? Who's the guy that's going to be the coach that, Now, the thing that bothers me the most about the whole Leon Rose thing with Worldwide West is they handpicked Thibodeau. He was their guy.
Mm-hmm.
And in a year and a half, you're already throwing him under the bus. Now, I'm not saying that he's exonerated from the mess of this season. I mean, I think he definitely has to take his fair share of the heat. But a coach can only do so much. It's the players that have to play. But at the end of the day, the Knicks did exactly what we thought they would. Not that we thought that they would do, but they basically just brought back the same roster. The same roster. And to me, it's just like, come on. I mean, like, you've been hyping this franchise up for years with all the cap space and this and that, and you still have nothing to show for it. You brought in Leon Rose. You brought in Worldwide West because you thought that they were the key to luring these free agents in because their agents who represented these guys. Worldwide West has a strong relationship with guys like LeBron James and a few others. And it's brought you nothing. It's literally brought you nothing.
No, you're absolutely right. Like I said, the Knicks hit it out of the park last year. Like RJ Barrett was playing great. Julius Randle was playing way above his skill level, and that's what got him to the playoffs. And Thibodeau. I don't think Thibodeau's the problem at all. I think people it came back down the reality that Julius Randle is a good player. He's good, but what he did last year was above and beyond what he could ever do. And, RJ Barrett's still a young guy. You traded for a guy like Cam Reddish, who he's good, but, he still has to develop. You have all, and they didn't go out and get like, let's go get a CJ McCollum or let's go get a Donovan Mitchell. They didn't get that all-star in the offseason. They went out and got Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. That's not a needle. Neither of those guys are needle movers. Sure, Evan Fournier is great off the bench if you have that perennial all-star, which the Knicks don't. And RJ Barrett didn't take that step forward yet. Julius Randle came crashing back down to reality. He's just a good player. And that's it. That is it. That was their problem. They made no moves at the deadline. They made no moves in the offseason. And the Knicks are wondering what the hell's going on. It's the GM. It's not Thibodeau. It's not the players to an extent. It's the GM that he didn't do anything to help this team out.
Yeah. And the thing is, again, you bring in these big executives knowing, banking on the fact that their relationships with the current state of the NBA roster of players is going to lure them to New York. And neither one, and it hasn't done a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it's pretty telling when CJ McCollum is pushing for a trade to the Pelicans, Klim. Pelicans. He's going from one crappy team to another. He's not pushing his way to go to Phoenix. He's not pushing his way to go to Brooklyn or wherever. He's pushing to go to New Orleans. I would like to think the Knicks have at least I thought I did, that the Knicks have a more attractive product to sell to the CJ McCollums of the world than the Pelicans. The name alone just says it. Pelicans. Not exactly an enticing, a really threatening mascot there.
I would say, because other than Brandon Ingram and Zion, but Zion's not even fucking playing. That's really it. That's all the Pelicans have is Brandon and Jonas Valanciunas, who I really like. But other than those two guys, they got nothing over there. They really got nothing.
But he wanted to play with those guys. That's what makes it even more strange. He wanted to play on a team with Brandon Ingram and Zion. I mean, that's what he wanted. That's why they pushed to make the deal happen. But, I mean, it's pretty telling. Now, look, this could all change by next year. The Knicks could wind up getting their superstar, which might attract other superstars. But it's just very telling that this has been going on now for a good 4 years, Klim, since Melo.
Yep.
Like you said last week's show, when Melo was supposed to bring Chris Paul here. And I think Paul George was the other guy that was supposed to come here. And they never came here. Russell Westbrook never came here, although I don't really know how serious the Knicks were about him. Kyrie didn't come here. Kevin Durant didn't come here. Doncic was, Knicks fans thought Doncic was going to come here. And he didn't come here either. He signed a supermax with Dallas. I mean, it's pretty telling. It's pretty telling at this stage.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, when Carmelo was running New York, no one still wanted to come. When the Knicks were placing second in the East, no one came to help. Like, I want to go play with the Knicks. They were really good. Nope. No one wanted to come do it. And it was like that for years and years and years on end. And now no one wanted to come.
And now it could be a situation where they may have to break up the young core they currently have. They may not have a choice.
Which is bad because you have players you can build around. Julius Randle is a fine power forward to do that with. RJ Barrett, he's a good small forward. You have those players.
It's not Julius Randle's fault. I mean, he's playing good basketball right now for them. It's just the rest of the team sucks.
Mm-hmm.
None of those players have been good. I don't even think Quickly has been as good as everybody made him out to be. And the Nets are still recruiting guys. The Nets are still recruiting guys like Dragic to come here. I mean, what does that tell you?
It's not going to happen. People, Knicks, you and I have been saying it for years now. Knicks fans are probably, other than Mets fans and Jets fans, Knicks fans are probably the most delusional fans in all of sports.
So, but all right, let's move on to all right. Let's do the Aaron Rodgers shit really quickly, because Aaron Rodgers apparently posted a cryptic Instagram post or a tweet. I don't even know. I think it was an Instagram post thanking everybody from in Green Bay and all this stuff. So it led to a lot of speculation. It led to a lot of speculation that he was either going to retire or that he's pretty much done in Green Bay. Look, Aaron Rodgers to me has always been a bit of a prima donna, and these Instagram posts come off as a bit of a drama queen.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's thanking Shailene Woodley, his fiance. Like, it was just weird, And the only thing I could say is, look, the only way Aaron Rodgers is leaving Green Bay, I think, is if he gets to go to Denver. I just don't see him going to any other team. Because
really? You think Denver?
Because of the Nathaniel Hackett. I think it's the only reason why he's going to go there. If you're Aaron Rodgers, why would you go to another team this late in your career when you pretty much know you have a solid roster in Green Bay?
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Green Bay underachieved this year. They home field and they blow it against the 49ers. They didn't play well. Their offense was absolutely awful against 49ers. But Green Bay is still in a better position now than where you're going to go. You really think you going to the Washington Commanders is going to be that much better? The Miami Dolphins? Who else needs a quarterback? I mean, Jesus, there's like a million teams. The Saints who can't even really afford it because they have all that. They're just miserable with the cap right now. Denver is probably the more logical solution. He's not going to Houston. He's not going to what was the team? Crap. It's Tampa. He might go to Tampa, but I doubt it.
Yeah, Tampa and Denver would be the only logical areas, or him staying. But I really don't think he's going anywhere, honestly.
But it's just, those are the things that, to be very honest, it just seems like a cry for help, like a cry for attention. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm kind of losing, to be honest, I don't really give a rat's ass where Aaron Rodgers goes. Like, I really don't care. It's like, this will be blown out of proportion because we need a story. And for the next week, because we're only a few weeks away from free agency in the NFL. We're about, 3 or 4 weeks maybe?
I think so. Tagging started today, I know.
What's that?
I said, I know you could tag people today. That started.
But teams are going to start releasing players this week because they have to get under the cap by the fiscal year, by the calendar year, or the start of the NFL season, which is considered March 16th.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be a story blown out of proportion for like weeks.
We'll even look at it today. I got an update today from Bleacher Report that 130,000 people turned into the Pat McAfee show today because he had Aaron Rodgers on, just to see if he was going to make a decision. No news.
Yeah, but that's Rodgers though. Like, that's just how he is. And like, I just don't care where he goes at this point. Like, I really don't care. And I'm sick of hearing about it. If he retires, well, he had a great, he's a Hall of Famer. Everybody knows that. I mean, that's pretty much a foregone conclusion, right?
Right.
I mean, but at the end of the day, you just get tired of the same like prima donna attitude all the time. It's like you don't care after a while. Like, you don't give a shit where he goes. He's done. Good riddance. So it's just another, another Aaron Rodgers need for attention tweet or Instagram post, whatever it was. And it's long. I don't know if you saw it, but it's really long.
I did not look at it new.
He's calling out, not in a bad way. He's more appreciative than anything else. But it just has this weird vibe that he's either going to retire or he's probably on the verge of getting traded. But I mean, with all due respect, would you really want to go anywhere else at this stage in your career?
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I just can't get excited about Aaron Rodgers being in Denver. Like, and they'll immediately be catapulted to the front of the line.
Yeah, yeah.
But we have no fucking clue how good of a coach Nathaniel Hackett's going to be.
But even though, like, it's not even like a great situation when he would go over there. The offense is okay. You have decent wide receivers with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. The defense is It's not like if he were to leave Green I think if he were to leave, the only way he would leave is if he's going to a championship team. The only one that's championship ready is Tampa Bay, and I don't know. I don't know if Tampa Bay is going to make that move. I don't know if Tampa Bay wants to run with Kyle Trask for that since he's been under Tom Brady. I don't know. But I think it'd be dumb.
I doubt it.
No, I doubt it too. I don't think so.
Not happening.
I mean, look, they used a second-round pick on the guy, so I mean, who knows? But again,
It's like fucking. But even like the Kyler Murray story, like from a week ago when he deleted all of his Arizona Cardinals Instagram posts and all that stuff of himself in an Arizona Cardinals jersey, whatever. It's like, look, do you really think the Arizona Cardinals are going to trade Kyler Murray right now?
No.
Do people really think this? This is how
people think that. Yes,
people are so fucking naive. They're so naive. The minute this guy posts something, it's like, you know, I was a WFA and they're like, oh yeah, the Giants should call about Kyler Murray. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, are you out of your fucking mind? Do you really think the Arizona Cardinals are going to trade Kyler Murray right now?
Who said that? Carton?
It was on Tiki and Tierney, or so I don't know who said. I think it was Tierney. But it's like
Tierney's better than that.
But it's like, all kidding aside, do you really think the Arizona Cardinals are going to trade their franchise quarterback right this second to the Giants or to any other team?
No.
But the thing I don't like about Kyler Murray is, like, here's my problem with Kyler Murray, okay? You're coming off as a baby. You're coming off as a guy who doesn't want to be a leader of a team. And if I'm Arizona, I'm more alarmed about that than anything else. Because I have to ask myself, this guy's going to want crazy money for a new contract. Do I want to give that to him when he's pulling shit like this? Because that doesn't tell me you're a leader. Mm-hmm. That tells me you just want to go to a team that you want to go to because you think they're going to win the Super Bowl. You have no desire to lead a franchise. And Arizona's been they've underachieved. Don't get me wrong. Kingsbury's done a better job this year, but with all due respect, that team has underachieved massively.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And I'm sorry, but I'm going to throw some shade at Kyler Murray here. Because wasn't it you that had a shit performance against the Detroit Lions and lost? You know how many times Kyler Murray has had crappy performances all year? Yeah, he's a good quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. But he's also had a few stinkers that, you know, to me are inexcusable. And now he's going to start, you know, again, it's like just you're toying with people. It's like, you know, don't do that shit. And he's doing it.
Right.
If I'm Arizona, I'm like, you're under contract to me. And until somebody meets my asking price, your ass ain't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I expect you to be at training camp. And if you're not, you're in breach of contract. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
This is bullshit. It really is bullshit that he would do like he's like a 5-year-old.
So I want to jump to another thing right now. And that is, and I thought about this a lot today, and I know I mentioned it last week, but I'm doubling down on my opinion that someone is going to trade for Mike White. I am 1,000% convinced of this. And I tried to figure out, and I was thinking about why, okay? So there's a million reasons. Here's the thing about Mike White that I'm gauging as to why I think he's going to get traded. I believe that he has more upside than any of the guys that are available in the offseason. I think he has more upside than Jim. I think you already know what you're getting with Jimmy Garoppolo. There isn't a quarterback in the draft that's going to be a year one starter. And the only other guy that could be available, besides, you know, the possibility of Russell Wilson or Watson or or Rodgers being available is Carson Wentz. But here's my question. If you trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, like, for example, let's say you're the Colts and you decide to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, okay? Isn't that the same as having Carson Wentz? Like, do you
more or less, yeah.
like, isn't that more of a lateral move than really a move that makes you better? That's one of the things I'm curious about. But look at the other quarterbacks on the roster. Why don't you pull up, if you have a second, pull up the free agent quarterbacks. And I guarantee you 90% of those guys are backups.
Yeah, I remember, like, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Let's see.
Like, for me, it's like Deshaun Watson, trading for Deshaun Watson, you automatically know he's going to be suspended. So it doesn't matter at that point. You're basically punting on the 2022 season if you trade for Deshaun Watson. The Seahawks have given no indication they want to trade Wilson, and we don't know the Rodgers situation. The only two quarterbacks that might be available via trade are Wentz or Garoppolo. But would you really want to trade for Carson Wentz right now?
No. But this is the list of free agent quarterbacks. Ready? Ryan Fitzpatrick.
See?
Andy Dalton.
No.
Cam Newton.
No.
Tyrod.
No.
Jameis Winston.
No.
Jacoby Brissett.
No.
Teddy Bridgewater. Mark, you want me to keep going?
Please.
Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
No.
Mitch Trubisky. Blaine Gabbert.
Wow.
Brandon Allen.
Oh, God.
Mike Lennon.
Jesus.
These are some of them.
So let me ask you a question. Mike White or the field?
I'm taking Mike White. Mike White, look. He played in 3 games this year. He looked good in all 3 of those games. It's not like, look, you take the chance on him. You know, that's the thing. Like,
the only game he looked like shit in was against Buffalo. So, but yeah. Whatever, that's fine.
Buffalo are the best defense in the league, so it doesn't matter.
But I thought he played well against the Colts until he got hurt. He played well against Cincinnati, and I thought he held his own against the Patriots after Zach got hurt.
No, you're absolutely right. He looked like, Grant, if you want to take a chance on this guy, by all means, take a chance on this guy. But, like, if you're a team like, I don't know, let's say the Steelers. Steelers need a quarterback. Yeah, they're going to draft a quarterback, obviously. But maybe they take a chance on a guy like Mike White, who will be like, you know what? He'll compete. You know, I'm comparing it to a little like Matt Flynn from 10 years ago when he played like 2 games for the Packers and looked amazing. Earned himself a $13 million contract for the Seahawks. Seahawks ended up drafting Russell Wilson anyway, and Russell Wilson won the job. You took a chance. But the thing is, with the Seahawks, they took the chance on him just in case. Like, you know what, he might look good, and I think teams might do the same thing here with Mike White. He may be good because he did torch the Cincinnati Bengals, who were just in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. It's like this is the worst year right now to be looking for a quarterback. 2022 is by far the worst year. Honestly, if I were the Falcons, I would be taking offers for Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, if they put Matt Ryan on the trade block, Matt Ryan becomes the number 1 quarterback that teams are going to go after. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Even though he's not really what he used to be and he's another year older, I would think if teams had a choice between trading for Matt Ryan and trading for Jimmy Garoppolo, they're going to trade for Matt Ryan.
Oh, yeah. Because people, they know you're going to get out of Matt Ryan. First of all, Matt Ryan's former MVP, went to the Super Bowl, and wasn't for terrible defense, would have won the Super Bowl. But
they're going to bring him back. They want to bring him back next year, which is fine. I mean, I don't know if that's a great move by the Falcons, but whatever. But the funny thing about it is that you look at that list, and then you look at the quarterbacks that are in the draft: Matt Corral, Sam Howell, Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett. None of those guys are first-year starters. No. You're not rolling with those guys week 1 in the NFL.
Like, the only one I would even remotely entertain being a week 1 starter would be Kenny Pickett. But none, like you mentioned, none of those guys are be like, oh, I have to go get him. It's not like you in the past where, like, there was a lot of hype around Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, all these guys, Josh Allen. It was like, I got to go get these guys. No, Kenny, to me, in my eyes, Kenny Pickett's the only one who could remotely even kind of start week 1 of the NFL. Other than that, Matt Corral, Sam Howell, Malik, Willis, whatever his name is, they're not week 1 starters. Like you just said, they're not. So, like you mentioned, people might take the chance on a guy like Mike White, who we've seen start games in the NFL, and be like, he can do it. He can play.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I'm going to trade for a quarterback, I would rather have one with upside.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has to be in a situation where you're going to draft a guy too. If you draft a guy, let him sit for a year behind White, and then let him. And if White doesn't pan out, what's the worst that happens, Klim? He's gone after a year. He's not going to sign like a 5-year extension,
Exactly.
You're not going to sign him to a 5-year contract. But man, Klim, I keep getting it in my head that somebody's going to trade for Mike White. I am 1,000% convinced. And I think that Douglas knows that. He knows the quarterback market is weak this year. And Mike White I don't know if he's considered the best option. Because, like, for example, you've heard speculation about the possibility the Vikings may deal Kirk Cousins. But there's no word if the Vikings have not confirmed that Cousins is even out there.
Yeah.
They just hired their head coach. The head coach doesn't know what the hell to do yet. I mean, he has no idea.
No, again, like the names that have been thrown around there, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson, and Aaron Rodgers to an extent have really been the only ones who've been like, okay, they're going to be on the trading block. But other than that, like, no one else is out there.
So you're at a point now where Carson Wentz doesn't really have a lot of value. Do you really want to trade for that contract anyway? Garoppolo is what he is. He's a game manager. He's not a guy that's going to take you to the next level. So why are you going to trade draft capital for a guy that is probably not going to get you very far? So then that leaves who else? Nobody. You're not going to ask Teddy Bridgewater to lead you to a Super Bowl. You're not going to ask Tyrod Taylor to lead you to a Super Bowl. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Cam Newton, none of these guys are going to lead you anywhere. They're going to lead you into a brick wall. So I'm saying to myself, it's like and this is why the Giants, in a way, were smart to roll with Daniel Jones. Because if you can't find a better option than Daniel Jones, you might as well just roll with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
It's almost like, in a weird way, you have a girlfriend, but you're not going to dump her for somebody that's average. You're going to want somebody you find more attractive, you find a better personality, all that stuff. Then you'll make the move. But you're not going to make a lateral move. Okay? You're not.
You're absolutely right.
So it's like, I would rather go for the guy that has potential to be very good or to be good. A kid who has a lot of confidence, and more importantly, Klim, he's willing to prove to you that he can be a starter in this league.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. And Mike White has done that.
Then make a lateral trade for a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo or for a guy like Carson Wentz, who more Jimmy G than Wentz. They've had some success in the playoffs. Garoppolo made the Super Bowl. This year he made the NFC Championship game. But if he couldn't do it in San Francisco, why would you think he's going to be any better in Pittsburgh? Why would you think he's going to be any better in Washington or Carolina or whoever, New Orleans, if they wanted to go down that road?
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And that's why I keep saying, I think that Douglas knows that. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to start fielding offers from Mike White.
I wouldn't hate it. We do have a comment, and this may maybe lead to our next topic, but Mike Laws commented, can we please talk about how ridiculous it is that the Yankees are retiring Paul O'Neill's number 21?
Don't mean to be a dick to Mike Laws, but O'Neill is spelled wrong.
That is, yeah, it is spelled wrong, Mike.
Sorry. I mean, where are you going to put the number? I guess they retire everybody's number. The Yankees don't have any single-digit players anymore.
They don't, but it's a little absurd that the Yankees retire all these numbers,
I mean,
man.
why don't we retire Tino Martinez while we're at it? Who else can we retire? That was Roger Clemens. Isn't that Clemens' number 21 when he was on the Yankees?
I think he was 22.
Oh, 22? Okay. I mean, look,
Yeah.
O'Neill was a really good player. Do I think you need to retire his number? No. And I'll just leave it at that. I could.
And that's why I like. You also commented no one likes a ground police. But
I see it, sir.
I was gonna say, that's why I kind of like how the Mets kind of do.
Now I know why Eric James gave me the finger at the last event.
But yeah, I kind of like how the Mets do it. They don't retire many numbers. Granted, Mets haven't had too many great players over the years, but it's been Piazza, Seaver, and now Kuzman, and then eventually this year it will be Keith Hernandez. Do I think Jerry Kuzman should have got it? Not really. No. I mean, he was a great player for the franchise back in '69. He probably currently top 5 pitcher the Mets have ever had to play for them, but
retiring. This is always something that's going to be for debate, just like the Hall of Fame. That's why I never talk about the Hall of Fame, because I just don't care. I really don't care who gets in the Hall of Fame. Everybody made a big deal, and rightfully so, about David Ortiz getting into the Hall of Fame when David Ortiz was a steroid user. He was a PED user. No, you can't get around that. If you're not going to take Bonds, you're not going to take A-Rod, but you take Ortiz, then you're a fucking hypocrite, plain and simple. Okay? That being said, though, look, I understand that this is a big thing with fans and all that stuff. Do I think O'Neill deserves to have his jersey retired? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he was any different than half the Yankees. I mean, like I said, if you're going to do that, then let's just retire Tino Martinez's jersey for starters. I mean, who else are we missing from back then? From the 90s? Oh, why don't we retire Jeff Nelson's jersey?
David Justice.
Yeah, I mean, Bernie Williams. I'm sure did he get his number retired yet?
I think he got his. I'll run through the whole list of Yankee retired numbers, but
I mean, yeah, you could retire a ton of jerseys if you wanted to. How about Scott Brocious? He was a big part of their winning the World Series. I mean, the Yankees get a little too into this whole. The thing is, if you keep retiring numbers, who the hell's going to wear these numbers? You're going to have guys wearing number 99 and 98. I mean, Judge wears 99, but who else is, you really want a guy wearing number 94?
Okay, you want me to read off what numbers are retired from the Yankees?
Go ahead.
Number 1, Billy Martin. Number 2, Jeter. 3, Ruth. 4, Gehrig. 5, DiMaggio. 6, Torrey. 7, Mantle. 8, Berra. 8, Bill Dickey.
It's like a top 10 list. Go ahead.
9, Maris. 10, Rizzuto. 15, Thurman Munson. 16, Whitey Ford. 20, Posada. 23, Mattingly. 32, Elston Howard. 37, Casey Stengel. 42, Mo. 44, Reggie. 46, Pettit. 49, Ron Guidry. And 51, Bernie.
That's a lot of freaking guys.
I mean, I would say a good portion of them deserve the numbers. Obviously, the DiMaggios, the Gehrigs, the Ruths of the world, Derek Jeter, obviously.
Won 28 World Series titles. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of guys who deserve to get their number retired. I mean, I don't know if O'Neill is one of those guys, but I mean, why don't we retire Teixeira's number?
I wouldn't be surprised. Or Sabathia.
I mean, they were the last guys that won a World Series for the Yankees. Let's get their numbers retired. Let's retire No's number.
Here's a hot take that Yankee fans won't like, and I'll say it. And then this isn't me being a Mets fan, a jealous Mets fan or not, but you can easily take off Andy Pettit, Bernie Williams, and Jorge Posada off that list. Hot take. Yeah. Pettit was only great in the playoffs. He was an average pitcher during the year. Bernie Williams was an okay outfielder. I mean, he was a good outfielder, but to get his jersey number retired, no. And Posada, here's a hot take: he wasn't that great of a catcher. He was just good. He was just part of that core 4.
Now, segueing to the Mets real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am looking forward to Old Timers Day.
So am I.
I
So am
definitely. Me and Keith are going to go. Actually, Keith wants to go this year to Old Timers Day at Citi Field.
I'm definitely down to go to that. But again, like it's funny because you look at the list, it's like, oh yeah, look at the old timers. It's Andy Chavez and Cliff Floyd and Daniel Murphy.
I mean, my God, I could go all day with guys that they could bring back for this.
Oh,
I mean, he could bring back Carlos Baerga, Juan Samuel. You know,
I mean, I feel like we're kind of frauds if we don't bring back Bobby Bonilla.
You got to bring Bonilla back. I mean,
you got to bring Bobby.
You know, Bobby Bonilla is going to get a freaking standing ovation if he's interviewed.
It'll either be a standing O or he'll get booed out the stadium.
No, he'll get a standing ovation. Like the Met fans it'll be a sarcastic standing ovation.
Oh my God.
I mean, Jesus, where it could begin. I mean, oh my God, one guy who should probably never show up at Mets Old Timers Day is Aaron Heilman.
Oh my God.
Aaron Heilman is, if you want to get your tires slashed in Corona, Aaron Heilman, by all means, come to Old Timers Day. But you may
Aaron Heilman, Oliver Perez.
Perez wasn't a terrible Met though. I think he just had no control over his pitches. Mike Pelfrey.
That was my guy. I loved Mike Pelfrey.
He was garbage.
Oh, he was terrible. Absolutely dog shit, but I loved him.
Robin Ventura is going to be there. Ray Ordonez, I hope, is there. I mean, who else? They should do like an Old Timers Day of all the crappy prospects we thought were amazing and turned out to be like
Lastings Village
and Alex
Fernando Martinez,
Martinez, you know,
Josh Tolley,
like John Maine and
John Maine wasn't terrible for the Mets.
John Maine was actually better than I thought he would be. He actually was a pretty decent pitcher, but once he got hurt, he was toast.
Yeah. I mean, what was he, the fourth, fifth guy in our rotation? He wasn't that bad when we had him.
Let's bring back Victor Zambrano.
Scott Kazmir.
I could go all day on this. Jose Reyes will come down. I'm sure Wright will be there.
Doug McKavich, Mo Vaughn.
Oh, I mean, we could do this all day. we could just do a show where you and I just go back and forth naming a random Met.
Ramon Castro. That was my guy.
I liked Ramon Castro.
Loved Ramon Castro.
He was a fat bastard, but he was a man.
That was my man, Pots and Pans, right there. I loved him.
So I am definitely excited to go to Old Timers Day. Like I will definitely be there.
I'm definitely going to try and since we were talking about jersey retirements, I definitely am going to be at Keith Hernandez jersey retirement day.
Yeah, well, that is if they have a season.
Yeah, we got to have a season first, but
because right now, who in the hell knows at this point? So, all right. What else do we have? What else do we want to bring up?
Road to WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber.
Okay, how can I put this bluntly? I didn't think Elimination Chamber was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for a Saudi show, I thought it was pretty interesting. I actually thought it was more interesting was the fact they had so many women on the show.
Yeah, I know.
Women there. Okay, so but that's another story. Ronda Rousey's arm was not tied behind her back. Okay, it was tied to the side of her hip, basically her waist. All right, and by the way, you need to get off the crush already with Ronda.
I can't, man.
You're a bit much now. Okay, so, but what's done is done. I personally am getting tired of the whole Brock Lesnar runs roughshod and beats everybody in 5 minutes thing. It's stupid. It's tiresome. It's not. But this is what Vince likes, so Vince is going to do it. Do I love the idea of a title versus title match at Mania? I don't. The reason why I don't is because it's going to take a lot of guys out that could easily have a really good program for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Seth Rollins, guys like Kevin Owens. I don't know if Lashley will be back in WrestleMania, but if he was, I would say Bobby Lashley too. Instead, now everything's going to be, you are going to completely half-ass this card and just make the focal point Lesnar Reigns title for title. And I'm sorry, but in this situation, Lesnar has to win.
Ooh, you think Lesnar has to win?
Yes. I am sick and fucking tired of Roman Reigns being the heavyweight champion. I'm so sick of it.
I'm going to disagree with you here. And I pitched this idea to my friends who also watch wrestling. And I was like, look, I think they could set this up perfectly. You have Roman win both the undisputed title, whatever they're going to call it, at Mania. Then they do like what they did with Rock and Cena, that The Rock comes out and they build that storyline up for a year, Roman versus Rock, and then at Mania next year at Vegas.
No, I don't want Rock winning the title.
Oh, I didn't say Rock had to win the title. I'm just thinking they could build it all up.
I don't want it. I don't want Rock winning the title. You need to get Roman Reigns off the title picture for a little while, and you need to have Lesnar defend it against a new challenger. I'm sick and tired of seeing Roman Reigns and everything. I like Roman Reigns. He's been a terrific heel, but it's time. It's time. It's going to become overkill if you keep this going and going and going. You have no one else that you've built up into superstar status outside of Lesnar. That's it. It's Lesnar. No one else. You didn't even build up Lashley. You could have, and you never ended the Rollins-Reigns feud.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a huge miss right there by WWE. You could have Rollins win the Rumble and let Lesnar fight Lashley at Mania with a rematch. It is rematch clause. There, done. There's your Mania. Now you have two fucking solid matches. And granted, they're rematches, but they're still solid matches. But now, what do we have? We are going to have Sami Zayn against Johnny Knoxville. We're going to have The Miz and fucking Logan Paul, as if the Paul brothers just cannot go away for more than 5 minutes without having to be back in the thick of things again against the Mysterios. Another storyline they fucked up because they never ended the storyline of whether one of them was going to turn on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte Flair against Ronda Rousey. Okay, I'm in. We already know Rousey's going to win, though. Charlotte's not walking out of Mania with the title. Unless someone comes out and beats the shit out of Ronda. And you're going to have Bianca Belair against Becky Lynch. And now the rumor is that it could be Edge versus AJ Styles, which is a match I'd be totally down to see.
Yeah.
But what are they doing instead now? Now you're going to have Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens be a tag team and most likely win the tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? It's like they always go into this trap when they don't have anybody, when they have nothing for these guys. That is a huge problem that WWE has to overcome. Because right now, I know Vince is not scared of AEW. I know he's not scared of AEW, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, they are going to eventually pose a legitimate threat to you. You have to make your product better before it's too late. Because we saw how it ended the WCW. Every week it was the NWO kicking everybody's ass and the wrestlers got tired of it. And you're seeing the same shit in WWE. And it's like you have to stop burying guys. You've got to build them up into something. I mean, even the shit that goes on in NXT now, where they're basically on 6-month tryouts, and if they don't really impress in 6 months, they're gone. It's a bad look. It's a very bad look. And the thing was, like I said, the card Elimination Chamber was not bad. I thought it was a decent card.
Yeah, it wasn't.
The McIntyre match turned out to be a lot better than I thought. He almost killed Madcap Moss, but he's.
Oh my God, I can't believe that.
But it was still a pretty entertaining match. The Becky Lynch match I thought was entertaining. And the Charlotte Flair match was all right. I thought, you kind of knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty interesting that Charlotte Flair wouldn't help out her boss. But I digress. I mean, the Goldberg match was a complete waste of time. And hopefully this is it for Goldberg because I'm sick of seeing Goldberg. Goldberg is not what he used to be, and WWE needs to stop doing this. But overall, it wasn't a bad pay-per-view. It's just I am so tired of seeing Brock Lesnar just run roughshod over everybody, and that's it.
You know what it is? I generally don't hate it just because of the fact. I don't hate it because it's like you said. They don't build anyone up to fight either like a Roman or whatever. They dropped the ball with Bobby, but prior to that, who was it? It wasn't Big E. Big E was doing nothing. I mean, at least with Brock there, you could have legitimate chance to like, okay, we can build guys up a little bit, and that's what it kind of did the last time when Brock was here. It built up Roman to what he is right now. It built at least it get like if Brock's not going to be here, whatever he's doing, if he's not going to be like a part-time champion, whatever, at least it gives screen time to other guys like a Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Tommaso Ciampa. Now that he looks like he's on the main roster, it'll give more time to them. They may not win in the end, but
like make Balor the United States champion already. Like,
oh yes, please. Oh my
Damian
God,
Priest. Like I've had enough of Damian Priest. I don't even care anymore about Damian Priest.
Well, I even said that I was like, the Miz needs the mid-card title ASAP. Not this Miz though. This Miz sucks. Like, give me regular Miz by himself, not with Maurice, not with fucking Logan Paul. You give me heel Miz by himself.
But Miz is basically there just to get guys over. That's it.
No, yeah, that's what it is. But
he's going to be there. He's never going to hold the title again. He's never going to hold the title ever again. But it's just overall, you are literally looking like you're going to have the worst Mania in history because none of the matches are good, and they're predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, if Reigns beats Lesnar at Mania, where do you go from here with Reigns? What is there for Reigns to do? Fight Lesnar again at SummerSlam?
The Rock.
Yeah, but again, you really want to fucking have Reigns as champion for another year?
I understand that point. I understand that we can't let.
And honest to God, though, that's another slap in the face to the other wrestlers, because if you do shit like that, then none of those guys ever have a chance to succeed.
Well, that was like a few years ago too, when it was Brock versus Goldberg, and they gave Goldberg the title. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, but then again, Vince single-handedly ruined the Fiend, having him lose to Goldberg in 2 minutes. But do you see what I'm getting at, though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, AEW is going to eventually run into a wall because you can't be that momentum is not going to. You're not going to be able to sustain that momentum for this longer period of time. I mean, AEW puts on some really good matches. Doesn't do much for them in the ratings. But on top of that, they have to start branching out. You got to start going on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll really see how much these guys really like working for AEW. When they have to go away every weekend and be on the road 4 days out of the week because AEW needs money. They got to generate revenue somehow. You can't have all these high-priced guys on your payroll and not have any revenue to show for it. I mean, you just can't. But right now, with WWE, it's like if you have Reigns beat Lesnar again, then where does Reigns go from there? Do you just have him feud with Rollins again? Those are the problems that WWE has. They've backed themselves into a corner on this one. At least with Lesnar being the title champion, you could have Lashley feud with him again. You could have Rollins feud with him. You could have Kevin Owens feud with him. You could have other guys feud with him. But with Reigns on SmackDown, who's going to fucking feud with him? They haven't built up anybody to feud with him. I mean, just think about it. You had an Intercontinental Champion in Shinsuke Nakamura who's only defended the title like 3 times in the last year.
Terrible.
IC title should be defended at every goddamn pay-per-view. And now you have Sami Zayn as a champion. I like Sami Zayn. Do I think Sami Zayn is an Intercontinental Champion right now? Not really.
No. That's why, you give it to a guy like Finn Balor. You give it to a guy like The Miz. Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I don't think this Miz, but those kind of guys are guys who can be like, okay, Johnny Gargano, if you were still here, come on and face me. Or Sami Zayn, if you were, not a bozo and facing Johnny Knoxville, that would be cool. It's shit like that you need these kind of superstars to transition into be like, okay, cool, they can fight for the title now, but whatever shit. And they're not doing that,
Purple. Now,
Oh my God, I don't know what the hell that was.
Have some tab.
Oh, I've been drinking Bar's root beer.
Oh, Jesus. Right? But that's the problem, though. And again, it's like, who's going... Like, right now, the sad part is, I will watch WrestleMania.
So I, yeah.
I'm going to hate it, but I know I'm going to be with my friends, and I'm not going to want to not watch it, even though I'm going to fucking hate it.
You know, it's like when we had Jack Tomlinson on, whenever the last time we had him on, and we asked him the question, like, would you rather go to WWE or AEW? And he said WWE because no matter what kind of product AEW puts out, no matter what kind of WWE product it puts out, WWE is the benchmark. You know, you want to go to WWE, and that's what people want to do. You want to watch WrestleMania. You don't want to watch... I mean, yeah, people are going to watch, you know, Revolution and Full Gear and all these, and Double or Nothing for AEW. Sure, everyone's going to watch it. But no matter what kind of wrestling fan you are, you're going to watch WrestleMania both nights.
So I've decided at the next Creative Pro event, I got to hook the wrestlers up. I got to, like, buy some of their stuff. I feel bad.
It's a war room back there, man.
I know, it's tight back there, first of all. It's freaking tight back there.
And I feel so bad if I don't buy anything, because that's how these guys make their money, you know?
I'm going to do a mea culpa the next time I see Bobby Orlando. And if he's selling the dolls, I'm going to buy one.
I was thinking about buying a Bobby Jr. when I was...
No, you don't have any fucking kids, Klim. Don't do that. Don't do that. Your first job is to get your $20 back from fucking Castor.
I gotta beat him up.
So it's like, I'm sure he's not gonna know who the hell you are. He's like, oh, what $20? You know.
I just paid for his gas that night.
But you know, I got to go up to like Eric James at the next show and just kind of like just reintroduce myself and everything, and just say like, oh, you're on Moffett on the mic, you know, and stuff like that, and everything. So.
Yeah, I definitely got to buy more Eric James merch when I get there. Same thing with Jack.
I still got to buy that fucking VSK shirt I've wanted for so long.
Which one?
The one with the old Islanders logo.
I have that one. That one's a good one. Logo.
Like, I got to get that shirt, man. Like, I just got to swallow my pride and buy it. You know?
I just feel, I just feel so awkward just like walking around there, and like, if I don't buy something from, I feel so bad. I'm like,
I know, it's like, and I got to stop doing that, because like I always have like, listen, when you're married and you won't, I don't know when you're going to get there. But you have to be careful and like tread lightly, because like, you're going to hear some shit. You know it. You know you're going to hear some shit. So it's like, you know, what do I do? And I felt terrible, because I knew in the back of my mind, I knew if I bought that Bobby Jr. doll for like whoever, for Reese or my daughter Riley, I know my wife is going to be annoyed. I know it. But sometimes you just got to swallow your pride and just do it. It's like when I go buy tickets to concerts,
right?
Buy the ticket and take the ass chewing later.
Well, that's even like me now. I get it with my mom, because I collect the Funko like vinyl pops. I collect those, and like I'll usually get like one, like once a week. I'll get one or something like that. My mom's like, Chris, you got to stop buying these Funko Pop. I'm like, Ma, like, this is what I want to buy. This is what I want to buy money. This is what I want to use my money with. Let me buy my shit. She always yells at me for it.
But I got to like start hooking these guys up, because these guys are doing me a favor. They're doing me a really good deed by coming on my show.
Yeah.
You know, like, I owe it to them. I owe it to Tomlinson. I owe it to, you know, to Eric James. You know, those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys are the best. I mean, they kick ass. Like, you know, I love the fact that we have a good relationship with Creative Pro, because it
definitely.
You know, it's definitely been really cool. I would love to try to get Myers on at some point if we could.
I emailed Cardona a while ago, and he didn't answer me. And that's not the first time I've emailed him too. I've emailed him multiple times in the past, and nothing.
I mean, I want to try to get like we should try to get like Aaron Rourke on.
Love Aaron Rourke. Oh my God, he's fucking great.
Yeah, I'm a big Aaron Rourke fan.
I love Aaron Rourke, Bryce Donovan, all these fucking, like, these guys are so good. Like,
you need to get on it.
I can work on it. I can work on it.
I'll tell you what. You handle the wrestling guys, and I'll handle the sports guys, and I'll see if I can. We'll meet in the middle.
All right.
We'll try to do something we can get like 2 guests a week if we're lucky.
All right.
2 guests a show.
Well, 2 guests. I was going to say 2 guests to show. Ooh.
But again, just to kind of end our topic on the Elimination Chamber, I mean, it was not a bad pay-per-view, but it wasn't a great one either. And like again, they got to stop this Brock Lesnar running roughshod over everybody's shit. It's just
Also, speaking of that, fucking Austin Theory taking the F5 from the top of the pod was insane.
It's a rookie. Well, you're the rookie of the bunch, so you're gonna have to take the biggest beating.
I thought that I watched it. I was like, I've never generally feared for a wrestler's life until I watched that. I was like, oh, he's dead. Like he legitimately got tossed off the fucking top of the cage.
The other big rumor that's going around, or looks like it's pretty much a done deal, is Cody Rhodes back in WWE after AEW. Very interesting stories coming out of the wrestling, a lot of the wrestling pages and blogs, that apparently Cody wasn't very happy with the fact that Tony Khan was taking credit for like all of AEW's success, and he wasn't really giving Cody his due or anybody like that. And apparently, from what I was reading, I think it was on Cage Side Seats this morning, that the AEW locker room was secretly kind of happy he's gone, that he's not, for some reason. I don't know what it is, but
not that great. I mean, Cody. I'm pretty sure he's great behind the scenes. Like, I watched that show that him and Brandy had, and he did a lot behind the scenes, and that's great. But in the ring, no one really cared for Cody.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of him now in WWE, because I don't know if they're going to put a lid on what he's able to do, because Vince tends to do that. But, I mean, if they'll take the money, if they can. WWE just re-signed AJ Styles to a multi-year deal. So
I just think by Cody going back to WWE, whatever he was dealing with AEW and whatnot, I think he's a huge fraud for doing this. Huge fraud.
You know what, Klim? I'm inclined to agree with you on that one, because I remember the first AEW show when he took the sledgehammer from Triple H's throne and it. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't disagree.
Not like that, like the little digs he would say during promos, shit he would say like off behind the scenes and everything like that about WWE.
But
and now to go sign a contract.
You know what though, Klim? They're all the same. If they get the offer to go to WWE and then the money's right, they're going to take it. They're going to take it.
But that's the thing, though. Like guys like the Bucks and Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega, who have been offered WWE contracts fairly recently when their contracts in New Japan were up, they didn't go there. They didn't go there. They're not frauds like that.
Again, my thing on AEW is this: eventually, AEW is going to start doing tours where they're going to start going around to different cities, and it's going to be like a house show, like an AEW house show. I am curious to see how much those wrestlers love working for AEW when their schedules are changing. Then come talk to me about how great it is. Because, again, these guys like the fact that they only have to work 1 day a week.
Mm-hmm.
1 day a week. And sometimes they don't even work that day. Because AEW does not put the same guys on TV every week. So, side note, a week from Sunday, I will be going out to Deer Park to watch Revolution in the movie theater.
All right.
So, one final thing before we go. Again, this is wrestling related. Wow. Look, I get that Vince likes tits and ass and all that stuff, and I totally understand that part. But with all due respect, man, you can't get any lower than a reality show featuring Corey Graves and Carmella.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yeah. Did you see the preview?
No.
Watch the preview. It's a fucking disgrace. It's an absolute fucking disgrace. Okay? It's like fucking softcore porn.
Well, now I need to watch this right now because I need an opinion on it. Hold on.
When Carmella is says on a live camera, "Oh, was it you that sucked your own dick last night?"
Okay, hold on.
Like, it's a disgrace. It's like every other clip, every other line is about them having sex. We're taking a pause so Klim can watch the preview. Do you know how, like, I would be embarrassed. Like, I would be embarrassed.
I mean, it's good that they like I don't kink shame anyone. Like if that like I'm done watching it. But like that's like what's like it was literally every other like you mentioned, every other thing was like, oh, sex or
Yeah. It's like, we get it.
dicks or
We get it.
tits or the dildos were shown. It's like
Yeah. We get it. We get it, Corey and Carmella. All you guys like to do is have sex when you're not wrestling.
yeah,
Okay?
congrats on the sex.
But it's like, who cares? It's like, why do I care about this? But it's like, again, another meaningless reality show. It's almost as bad as Ms. and Mrs.
I like Ms. and Mrs. I don't
But it's
think
like,
that.
come on, dude. Like, is this really so? Every episode is going to be, and that's how, you know what the sad part about it though is, Klim? Like, you really see how staged it is. You really see how staged it is when all they're doing is talking about having sex, like hooking up and whatever. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will watch the show.
like he's
I
a
will
lucky.
watch.
Listen, Corey Graves is a very lucky man to have a girlfriend like Carmella. But it's like, with all due respect, this girl is going, like, in a day where, like, we're trying not to objectify women and pigeonhole women. Carmella's setting the whole women's movement back by all doing is talking about is blowing him and whatever. It's so stupid.
Well, you know what it is? I think that WWE is really missing Total Divas because I think that was a home run hit, and with a lot of people too. A lot of people who weren't
I don't like
wrestling
Total
fans.
Divas. I didn't like the Bellas on it, but I like Total Divas.
Exactly. A lot of people, even non-wrestling fans, tuned
Like,
in
I
to
liked
watch
when
Total
Liv was
Divas.
on, when Liv Morgan was on it, and Naomi, Natalia.
And I think that's what they're missing. They're trying to hit it out of the park here with maybe this. Who knows? I don't know what they're gonna do.
But they're just
how successful this will be, but
with all due respect, they are just not an interesting couple. Like, why do I care about Carmella? She's really nothing in WWE.
yeah, I mean, if they said it was Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, I'm tuning into that.
But Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch would give us a more realistic approach to their relationship.
Exactly.
They wouldn't. Becky Lynch wouldn't be sitting there telling Seth Rollins, "Oh, was it you that sucked your own dick last night?"
Or even if they wanted to do, even this would be better. Give me Triple H and Stephanie. I'll watch that. I'll watch that. Cool behind the scenes shit with WWE.
It's one thing to take a look into people's lives. It's another thing when you can just see how staged it is. Because that's all they talk about is having sex. Like, it's, like, do I really care, if Corey and Carmella are having sex every day? Good for them. But it's like, you see how embarrassing that is. But Vince greenlights it because he's like, oh, yeah, they're talking about sex. We TNA, that we're right back to where we started. It's like, come on, man. Like seriously, this is the best shit you can put on TV.
I mean, look, like I said, I'm gonna watch it no matter what, and I'll let you know how it is. But it's just like, it's not needed. It's certainly not needed.
No, not in the least. It's like what I always said about the Kardashians. It's like, I've never seen a family luck into fame and fortune more than the Kardashians. And how did it get started? A sex tape.
Yep.
That's how it got started. It was a sex tape. So, all right. Before we get out of here, you got anything else?
I think that's it for me.
All right. When are we doing a show next week?
Yes.
Do we know what day or
Monday?
On Monday?
Back on Mondays. Yeah, I only can't do. It's the third Monday of every month that I can't do, just because we have our fire department meetings that month, that day. So it's just that's literally the only time I can't do a Monday show.
All right. So
I happen to do it. I happen to take off this whole week from work because I'm going on Thursday. I'm going to Nashville
to do what?
Buddy's bachelor party.
Oh, you're gonna be doing line dancing?
Oh yeah, line dancing, square dancing. I plan on buying a big cowboy hat, so I'll be wearing that cowboy hat on the show on Monday.
I gotta find a producer. This isn't working. It's about me having control, and I don't have control over you. So it's like, no, you are not allowed to wear a freaking cowboy hat on my show.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Oh, I won't wear the cowboy hat.
All right.
Wink.
Well, wherever you are, be safe. Don't be a jerk off. All right.
I won't.
So, All right, on that note, that is going to do it for this episode of the Moffett on the Mic show for this week. We would like to send a very special thank you to the one-man boy band, Creative Pro champion Eric James, for coming on our show, hanging out with us to talk some wrestling. Again, if you're in the Long Island area and you're near Limbrook in April, get your ass to a Creative Pro Wrestling show. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed with the show, with the wrestlers, and everything. Everything is amazing. Brian Myers does a great job. And we've had, like I said, we've had a pretty good relationship with Creative Pro, with Jack Tomlinson been on our show a couple of times. VSK's been on our show, as well as now the newest member of the Moffett on the Mic family, the one-man boy band, Eric James. So we are, we wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, but trust me, you will not be disappointed at a Creative Pro Wrestling show.
And make sure you go and buy his T-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/Eric James.
Support these guys. These guys bust their ass. They work really hard, and honestly, for what it's worth, their designs are 10 times nicer than half the shit that WWE puts out.
Oh my God. Yeah. I love
the originality in their stuff.
I'm wearing the Eric James shirt right now. This shirt is awesome. I absolutely love this shirt.
So,
and even the Jack, I have 2 Jack Tomlinson shirts, and even those shirts are fucking awesome.
So wherever you are, just definitely check out Creative Pro. Go to their website if you need more information. But we really appreciate Eric coming on our show. We had a lot of fun talking wrestling with him and talking New Orleans Saints football with him too.
Yes.
So, and we want to congratulate Eric again on becoming a parent, on becoming a father of a beautiful baby girl. And we hope everything is okay. We're happy to hear that wife and baby are very healthy and they all look very happy. So, Klim, anything else before we get out of here?
That is it from me.
All right, wherever you are, stay safe. You can follow the show on Instagram at Moff on the Mic and on my Facebook page as well. Follow Klim and the A1 Sports Network on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Back next Monday night with a show, 8 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, 8 o'clock right here on the A1 Sports Network Facebook feed. And that's it. So wherever you are, guys, stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your week. It is a dead time for sports since there's no football, there's no baseball. So unless you're a hockey or basketball fan, I guess you're entertained. If not, I don't know what to tell you, but it'll be a long slog until we get to free agency on March 16th, where we'll be able to talk a lot more about what's going on in the world of football. All right, everybody, that's it. Everybody take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of the week. And again, back here next Monday night, 8 o'clock right here on the A1 Sports Network. Take care, everybody.